Hello and welcome back to the LCS Summer Playoffs. We're here ready for Game 2 between CLG and Golden Guardians. Game 1 was a banger, the longest game of playoffs so far. CLG were in control the entire time, but Golden Guardians, largely through the efforts of Stixxay and Olleh, held on down 10,000 gold for like 15 minutes.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a game where you look at it at 20 minutes, you're like, this is over in 25, and it was a 45-minute game, right? So it definitely went a lot longer than they think. I think that it's more about the draft, though, than it was about like any sort of massive errors from CLG. I think the fact that they gave over Zeri, didn't draft any point and click, really does make it actually difficult to lock him down, and that's why Stixxay was really so enabled. You're having the Janna to peel the Trundle and the Renekton, and there's just no way to close the gap through that Glacial Augment. So I think Zeri's either going to be banned every game, or they're going to draft point and click, and I don't think we'll see CLG in that situation again.
Interesting as well, seeing Golden Guardians drop the Draven ban. I think they were expecting some level of, okay, Zeri's gone, we'll take Sivir, take the Azir.
They want Sivir first is what that tells me.
Don't let us get countered, but instead, yeah, they're going to leave both up. That's, of course, an easy one-for-one trade. You can't really put Sivir somewhere else or Zeri somewhere else. You get to trade those one-for-one no matter what. Golden Guardians decide jungle still the most important. We would like this, and so Poppy still grabbed.
Yep, and Trundle's banned out this time. So now I expect CLG to probably go like Azir plus one of the OP ADs, whichever one they want. If they don't care, you can just kind of wait till later and grab some other things. But Azir still feels incredibly high priority. That being said, Palafox was totally fine actually just giving up and playing Victor into it. So they are going to grab Sivir. The studs lead you to believe that it will be Zeri on the other side once more. So now I do wonder, what the pairings are going to be, or if CLG is happy to just kind of run it back.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what comes out of the coaching staff here. CLG, they won coaching staff of the split. They brought in Dhokla in a top lane, and that did a lot for making them exciting in the side lanes. I also got to give a lot of credit to specifically Demonte, position coach here on the team, because Palafox, I think, has gotten really good this split.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, okay, it's the Pobelter, I'm top 10 LCS meme, but like, he was like a top 10 LCS mid. Like, he deserved to be here, but like, wasn't making waves. Palafox has been a difference maker this split. Like, he's really, really good this split, and I'm happy for it. I think he was actually on my ballot for All-Pro. They got him third. Like, this man has been really, really exceptional, and that's his hard work. It's a coach staff behind him, and I'm glad to see players level up.
Absolutely. I mean, it is really exciting, right? He didn't win All-Pro, but he was definitely in the discussion, and rightfully so. So this time around, everything kind of going pretty much as expected. Azir plus Sivir, that's their choice. Then you're giving over Zeri plus whatever support they want. So it is going to be an enchanter. Now the question is, will it be Nautilus, coming through, or some sort of actual lockdown, or are they going to draft that from somewhere else? Karma was banned out last game, and it was, banned out against Olleh, and he ended up going. I mean, Nautilus just makes the most sense to me, right? Like, this is the change I expected. I said this when we were coming in the draft. You're either going to ban out Zeri or you're going to draft point and click, because Zeri was literally the only problem for CLG last game, right? Ablazeolive didn't feel like he was having much of an impact on the Azir. Every fight that was close was Stixxay almost 1v9, right? And now it's going to be so much harder because you have so much more follow-up. Yes, there is Poppy to try to deny, this Nautilus flying in and the Azir flying in and all of that, but it's nowhere near the same level of peel as the Janna had. And it's much harder to actually avoid a lot of this, right? If the Nautilus point and click all comes through, Azir can follow up and get it on top of you, knock you back, that becomes difficult.
And you can see there's Vi off the table as well. Like, yes, you can Poppy W the Q, but ulti's unstoppable, and that is the point and click you're talking about. So another high priority pick right there. Golden Guardians is aware that, yes, it really has been about Stixxay. CLG winning in, I would say, the other 3 roles on average, but bot lane has looked good for Golden Guardians. At least as far as the team fights are concerned, there. Akali going to be dropped the table here as well. CLG wanted to get rid of Blaze Olleh's answer to Azir.
Yeah, going to be taking that away. Banned out the LeBlanc already. A lot of the kind of artillery mages are really good in Azir, but no one really plays them in pro. Xerath, Vel'Koz, all that kind of stuff. Even Victor, people do like because he can kind of poke just from out of range. Generally, it's really long range stuff that Azir does struggle against, but not expecting anything too crazy, assuming we're just going to get some sort of a control mage as an answer. Renekton looking like it will be coming through here once again, which would lead you to believe that there's some sort of like hidden jungle pick. This could just be a for fun hover, and then they go jungle and counter pick on 5. Like that's the standard. So it is just going to be Viego jungle, Dhokla counter pick top lane. But we have seen some situational jungle picks come through on 5, so was at least worth considering. Stixxay with his classic hover. I think it was like just a Warwick main or something. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I don't remember either.
He's hovered Warwick for his entire LCS career.
Yeah. I'm actually glad that Dhokla also is dropping the auction hovers. I think that's fun as well. So, always want to hear that one. Jarvan As a
River's
top
special.
laner, potentially, unless Licorice is going Poppy top. Taliyah
It's a
coming
flex,
through?
right?
Yeah.
Like theoretically, I think Jarvan jungle is more likely than Poppy than Jarvan top, right? Like I think
Yeah.
Jarvan top, and especially Jarvan top blind would be bizarre. Poppy's still a good top laner. It's just almost only played in jungle and pro. So this is interesting, right? So it does kind of make it a bit more difficult because if you try to go for some sort of aggressive matchup and then it gets flexed, like Poppy shuts down a lot of the aggressive matchups top lane.
Yeah.
You know, it is very difficult to go for a lot of those. But this feels like generically pretty strong.
Okay.
You know, Aatrox good into tanks. Of course, you can get interrupted on your dash. But that being said, the sustain is usually too much for a lot of tanks to deal with.
Yeah.
And this has kind of like become one of the classic answers to tanks in the LCS and really worldwide.
This looks like the pair of roles right now. They're Jarvan in the jungle for River, and Licorice going to bring out Poppy in the top lane. I think a very reasonable top laner is solid in the role. I'm actually surprised we don't see more Poppy flex overall. I'm sure it's been done, but it's not super common. But I think it's a cool look here for Golden Guardians. I think they're the team, one of the teams most willing to do exciting things. I mean, CLG was really good. They were, I think, the first big Seraphine bot innovators this split. That was very strong. Cool to see them grab that one up. Otherwise, this one looks pretty standard right now. Golden Guardians with the Poppy Flex, going to be interesting. River should have some early pressure. And Zeri gets an arguably even stronger enchanter in the Lulu. So is it going to look good here on this side for Stixxay yet again? Though with a Nautilus ult to face him, it'll be much harder to play out.
It's going to be an interesting top lane. I mean, on average, at least in solo queue, it's a slightly winning matchup for Poppy. But, you know, that being said, there is a lot of skill in Aatrox. So Aatrox played really at the highest level is a very different beast because if you're just hitting all your Qs, it's so hard to actually play against this champion. So we'll see how Licorice can actually handle it. But I do think Dhokla's going to have to play fairly safe because Poppy plus Jarvan is a brutal combo to get away from, right? Like, if you just flash on top of the Aatrox, pop your W, put your Q on him, his only response is to then try to flash out of it to be able to actually get away, and if River's coming in as well, there's definitely opportunities there. J4 also creates terrain, which Poppy can use for the stuns, so that's another thing that's really nice, kind of similar to what we saw from the Azir pairing.
Yeah.
Ablazeolive, though, you know, going to be looking to roam, and when you're looking at just like the damage profile, it again just feels like Stixxay 1v9 or you lose, right? Because I do think Taliyah can put out a lot of damage, but it can be difficult against champions like Azir who have really good range.
Absolutely agree. It's going to be about the roaming, I think. There's a lot of early game pressure here. It feels like Jarvan early game jungler, Taliyah early game mid laner here as well. Heal is literally about roaming around the map. Stixxay's on double mobility summoners, by the way. No heal, no cleanse. It's the heal for Olleh. And says, yeah, the only things you would see me with knock me up anyway. Yeah. Looking at things like whatever Aatrox going to do, Azir shuffle, Nautilus ulti. There was a stun at the end you could cleanse, but realistically, just mobility summoners. Outrange the ulti, come back in afterwards. We have been seeing the rise in ghost usage, which I like a lot. And I think it's cool to see it here on the AD carry. So, as we get ourselves geared up for Game 2 with CLG up 1-0, Licorice is standing by with CLG's head coach, ThinkCard. Let's see what he has to say.
Graced by the presence of one of the coaching staff of the Split members. Wanted to get your perspective on the series, CLG coming in as heavy favorites, but a little bit of swinginess in the later portion of the game. What was your approach to this overall matchup?
Yeah, so the first game, it's pretty important to understand that we did play the first 25 minutes like extremely cleanly. So I just reminded the team, like, yeah, it got a little messy at the end, but we had very good dragon control, very good herald control, and then we kind of got caught up like 2 times and turned into kind of this chaos. But besides that, it was a pretty clean like first 30 minutes of that game. And then for this game, it's just more, we know that we're going to win front to back with the Sivir Azir, so we just need to get one Viego reset, and then we know that the team fights are going to be, once again, like in our favor.
So very prepared for switching over to red side in this matchup?
Yeah, for sure. I think we're pretty happy with our champions here.
All right, well, we got some action going down, so let's get back into it.
And big damage to Stixxay stays alive for now, but Olleh has to be careful. He's down to about 400 HP there as well. Stixxay burns Ghost and Flash. Luger bound double summoners as well. So 3 summoners down on each side. The question now is health bar size, and it feels to be favoring CLG.
Yeah, it definitely does. Especially, Stixxay has already chugged an additional potion there. So is going to be, in trouble here. Potentially 400th career game for Stixxay. Congratulations to him. That is a lot of LCS here.
Yeah.
Afro was, what, 500 or something like that recently?
Yeah.
So actually kind of surprising that he's that far up there. But Stixxay has had a long career.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. We got to play to the bottom side. Flash for the root. You've got a Viego flash follow first. Blood in for Contractz.
They're gonna
CLG again. Find first blood. Now into the turret, though. Will not take the second shot. Palafox stays alive at 1v2. Olleh is going to be the target. Quick grab on the aggro. Health bar is low. Stun gonna come through, but I believe that will kill him. I don't believe that'll drop aggro indeed. Lulu gets kill on a Lulu. 300 gold in for Olleh.
Yeah, not the cleanest setup there. They wanted Luger to take it because everyone else was too low, but the damage didn't seem to come in quickly enough. Either way, who cares? You give 1 kill over to the Lulu, you get a plate, you get the additional kill. Experience is denied, so still really good stuff here early on there for CLG. Licorice is low on mana. Does have to be careful. You know, a lot of this matchup is just about buckler harass and being able to have that good timing on your W to interrupt and knock up the Aatrox so you can get both halves of your Q because a lot of the damage is backloaded. Again, early pathing here down from Contractz. This was enemy red, enemy Raptors, his own Raptors, then to bot. So pretty weird jungle path, but worked out well. And a lot of times it's just about doing the unexpected here. So Olleh looking for it. Luger does pick up the aggro. Yeah, Contractz just not able to actually get the damage out at the same time. They may have wanted to kind of wait out until the kind of Zeri ended. I don't know how you call it, the soul, the whatever you want to. But basically once he was back in his own form on Viego, I think they could have done that a lot more cleanly.
End of the day, they still get the kill at the very least. The assisted gold comes in, a little bit of XP is denied, but Olleh gets 300 gold richer for his flash burn to buy the time.
And River's not even up in farm because he actually got counter jungled, right? Because they pushed him off his red level 1. We didn't really get to talk about that because that happened during the interview, but he got invaded, lost his red and his Raptors level 1. So even with Contractz doing this kind of weird path where he goes, you know, enemy red, enemy Raptors, his own Raptors all the way back down to bot, which seems super inefficient. Yeah. He's up in farm and has gotten off the play. River hasn't even reset yet, so River's been kind of hanging out on the map, not really having a lot to do, unfortunately for him.
Good right now as mid lane goes back and forth here. Ablazeolive again on the early game champion. Doesn't have to be paid at level 1, 2, or 3, but expect him to get more done early on as the junglers get out. Sidestep. Olleh not going to get found. River still waiting the wings. Almost would have rather taken that hook, honestly. Let Poome go in, just like go fight him. So, I mean, maybe you should have played that one differently, but gonna look for the play maybe. Flag and drag or anything.
It's definitely one of those where it is good to actually take the hook.
Engage?
You have to kind of play like you're an idiot a little bit when you're on the Golden Guardian side. Yeah. You don't want to make it too obvious. But, you know, you maybe kind of like hug the minions a little bit so you could hook around the minions and get you.
The hook. Yeah.
But I am surprised, and now they waited that long, and Contractz is behind them, so now we're probably going to watch them die.
This is the worst possible timing. It gets shepherded up, and here comes Contractz. They're going to try for Luger, though, to burn him down. Straight up 2-on-2. They kill the AD carry. Olleh should die, but honestly, you take those. CLG starts a fight, and Golden Guardians gets paid.
Yeah, really well done there by Stixxay, actually getting the kill back on the Luger. They saw that. The wraparound was coming from Contractz, so instead of actually trying to retreat back into Contractz, they just go straight at him. They get a kill. Stixxay survives, and he's going to get all the wave here. So he's actually quite ahead, I think, off of this play. Doesn't really matter that Olleh dies. The wave's even really bad for Luger. Yep. It's going to deny an entire extra wave before he actually gets back here and stops the recalls. So super well played by the Golden Guardians bottom lane, giving them a potential way into this game here. Despite the fact that they are already down over 1K. We can watch this one more time. Good pathing from Contractz. He's going to go for the wraparound. As soon as they see him now, they know they have to turn and fight. The hook lands on Olleh, so Stixxay says, all right, and he just goes right through him and actually bursts down Luger. Really well done. Yes, there is the trade kill, but overall, it's Golden Guardians positive for sure.
It's one of those games where it's like, wow, we got 3 kills in bottom lane. Wait, I got assists on all of them, and most of them are split 2 ways. So I'm pretty confident Stixxay is actually ahead in gold down here.
For sure.
Yes, he hasn't bought yet. Sure, 2,400. Yeah, so there you go. 400 gold lead. That is way more than our Noon Quiver in the inventory there. Recall stop. Okay, Olleh, yeah, be careful. Okay, we're fine. Everyone's fine. It's okay. Stixxay gets back out.
That was
dangerous, obviously.
A little dicey.
It was.
I will say. But yeah, a couple hundred gold ahead. So, you know, he was about to kill up. Now he's going to lose this wave. Very likely. We'll see if Olleh can pull any of it. Doesn't look like he's going to.
There's a cannon you lose a melee. The nice thing is, like, that's every AD carry ever wants to recall with a cannon wave coming in.
Yep.
Because you can clear the non-cannon wave, no problem, and then you lose exactly one melee if your recall wasn't stopped stupidly. And that's the case. They're good flash by Ablazeolive. Palafox a good scoop. Could have set up for Contractz ult over the wall, take the fight. Still, though, a nice engage forces a 5-minute cooldown.
And Zeri is able to get back to bot lane so fast, has tier 2 boots, and you can skate out the wall, you know, very, very far. It's like almost halfway that you can go if you get the perfect angle. So it's pretty crazy. Gonna be able to get back to lane very, very quickly. up on top side, just kind of farming it out evenly here, early tier for the Poppy, who does have pretty heavy mana costs. That is kind of one of the things that you have to struggle against a little bit. And the upgraded tier tank item is really nice for Poppy because it procs off like any tackle, procs off even your slows as melee, so even your Q actually procs the shield, which can be quite nice.
Definitely is. So on the way to that one is farm is equal up in the top side. We'll see who gets the better in team fights. There's a bit more for Dhokla to farm, so he should feel comfortable. Tackle, auto, wave goes down. Flash over the wall. This is going to be an attempt, and he's just pushed around. Shows back for some time, but Viego follows through. Contractz to the board. 4-2 right now. Every single kill has been touched by the CLG jungler.
Yeah, he's doing really well here early on. Even from level 1, the invade, they're setting him up for success. He's able to make these aggressive plays happen. Tedesco was talking about wanting to see CLG kind of play this aggressive style, you know, not just go for late game. Their draft may be playing more for that late game, and that's what ThinkGuard was talking about. Hey, we just need to play front to back late game. But Contractz getting aggressive regardless, so definitely play style wise, they are going right at him. River's going to start this one up, but I think CLG could easily contest this. You can see Sivir is moving up here on the map, you know, passing the dragon now. Taliyah is down bot side, does not have TP. And the rank 1 ultimate is pretty short range.
There's no smite for River right now. The eye's gonna get low, but not smiteable. It's gonna be a bit of a fight for it. Auto comes through, they get it, but here comes the push in. A lot of damage to Lulu. Can they kill him is the question. A flash of safety, ignite is on, but he will live. Re-engage comes across, Zeri's hitting, ulti comes across, and a flash out for Jarvan, but will they find the kill? Poppy tackles in, a double knockup, 3 kills for Golden Guardians. They've transmuted CLG into coinage as Olleh tries to get away. Yoinked back in, Dhokla wants it, slams him down. A 4 through for Stixxay, and Big Dokes is left alone.
Stixxay going off in that fight. 3 kills for the Zeri, who is already way up, and that was a weird contest from CLG. They waited so long until the Herald was already down. Then they actually go in for the fight, and it's an engage onto Olleh. I don't think they actually had eyes, and we can see in the Rocket flip the switch replay here. Now they did see that Stixxay was there, so engaging onto the support, I guess they thought they could get a quick kill, but Dhokla's in base, like he's so far away. So it really is a bit of a strange engage, and Stixxay really making him pay for it here. Just getting so much damage out from the side, just zapping through everyone. Luger tries to actually zone him out, but Stixxay not perturbed whatsoever. They go in again, getting multiple kills there, and then the chase down onto Luger cannot win out in this 1v1. Stixxay got so much gold. Has the full shield bow off that. It went from, you know, he was ahead a couple hundred gold, so he's now ahead nearly 2,000 gold off of that play. It's a good 1,900 gold up.
Yeah, that's looking really good right now. So Stixxay, once again, it is about the bot lane of Golden Guardians. Olleh to provide him the buff, Stixxay to do the heavy lifting in the team fights. 0, 1, and 0 for the bot lane. Ablazeolive ran the bot. He got a plate. He gets some gold to his name. He's back to tied with Palafox down here. But it's about Licorice and River being the front line. And, you know, with Poppy being able to stop a lot of these engages, should be decent, you know, safety for the man. We'll just have to come down to what the team fights look like overall when Azir and Sivir start shoving in damage after the Nautilus crowd control.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, there's...
Oh, that is a lot of damage. I don't think he can quite die. I mean, missing cooldowns now. Licorice always has flash. He can W the dash, and he has flash. But Q's going to land and has to burn it there. Yeah, Dhokla, really well done getting Licorice's flash.
Yep, good job by him. Forces out that summoner. It is the trade for the ulti, so he's going to be a little bit more vulnerable for a while. Licorice actually staying around. That is so risky. He is very low on health here. But River in the area, so going to help him to actually reset this wave. And they do have Herald. Would be interesting to see if they actually just drop it now to get some guaranteed plates. Because it is kind of the only place they really have push, and Herald isn't going to be there for too much longer. So I think they are, in fact, actually going to drop it, but no. Just going to get the reset. Yeah, he's going to have to charge straight out towards mid or bot now, though, and get that down. I mean, Stixxay already being ahead makes it feel like you want to go bot, but that does feel pretty telegraphed, so I'll be interested to see if CLG are actually around to answer.
They're still in the bottom lane for now, actually. Maybe taking the recall. I don't know. I feel like you're in a good enough power spike that you want to stay in the lane where your opposing AD carry doesn't have upgraded boots or the mythic on you. Yes, there's zero vision, so I understand why Stixxay is playing very far back. Whereas Nautilus, whereas Viego, whereas Zeri, I have literally no idea for any of those three. So I have to play the wave from very far away. This should go back toward Golden Guardian's side, so he might drop like a caster minion, but he knows he's always safe to eventually grab the wave. Is there a jungler here? No. Okay. I understand the safety, but looks like they're going to move lanes around as I think Taliyah knocks the wave. She'll walk bot. Scarsman will not see that Trinket Ward, as Golden Guardian's aware of Contractz location. Not of Poome, though.
Yep. And River's kind of in this awkward spot where he wanted to drop mid. They were there, so now he faked towards bot. He's going back towards mid now. Dhokla potentially going to get chased away here by Licorice, but gotta get that Herald out soon.
Yep.
It's going to expire.
You got a minute till the Herald, or to the plates drop. Licorice does finally get a nice wall stun. Dhokla down to about 700 HP without ult, without flash. Maybe Licorice thinks he has the fight, and the read is there. Gore Trigger heal comes in pretty well. Dash comes through yet again. Ulti, knock-up Q. Ulti, the attack. Licorice needs a little bit more and chases down the solo kill. Dropped wave into the tower, knew he could kill Dhokla. Bot lane tower finally takes the charge as the anchor does not land either.
Yeah, Golden Guardians having a really good start to this game here. Up 1.3k now. Solo kill on the Poppy there for Licorice against Dhokla, who had the answer. You know, with his pick, of course, it was potential for a flex, but it seemed pretty straightforward that was going to be the Poppy top. Gets a solo kill, gets a plate. He's going to be significantly up in gold. As a team, they are very up in gold. So now you have a strong front line. You have a massive advantage here in the bot lane. And Golden Guardians have everything in their hands here. It is up to them to just be able to actually extend that advantage, to play well with this lead.
Done. Red Smite, shove back, not gonna land here, so Contractz gonna be safe and continues with control ward domination down there. Go back into the farm, but about a 4-5 camp lead for Contractz is still pretty heavily up in farm. Although the kills and assists now looking a little bit better on the Jarvan side. River has managed to be in these fights. Poome holds the wave for a bit to make sure Azir can get the XP. Will do so and knocks him down with his support item. Boop. 42 gold. Sound it makes. I'm a Foley artist, as you can tell.
Okay.
There you go.
Sounds a little bit more emphatic in game, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's all the reverb stuff. Like, you ever hear Cassin's VO? That doesn't sound like that, okay? But it's all the audio. Yeah, it's all done in post. So, you know, the initial sample is boop, and then they play it up.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thanks
Little known facts made up by me. For those who are unaware, that was a lie. We call that a lie. I lied about that. Mid lane, though, will we see a kill out of River? Would love to look at Luger. Now, if you can force it, you can guarantee that Luger has to... I think if you spell shield ult, the cage still goes up, I think. So could force Luger's flash if they felt strong enough in the 3v2, decides not to go for the play.
You just stop the damage, I believe.
Yeah.
But the terrain will always be created there, so it is definitely difficult. And you know, you do have the potential to be able to actually land a Poppy stun on that as well. Plus, it's almost impossible to dodge the seismic shove from inside that Cataclysm. So there's a lot of ways. It also enables the empowered W from Zeri. So some really nice interactions there for Golden Guardians. Starting up this Herald here again. CLG, though, much faster to answer on this one.
All coming up. Those could be a very good fight. Flash engage. Everyone's over the wall. But here comes River into 4. Over the wall is Dhokla, though. But has he bought too much? River almost dies. Gets a quick heal. Burning. Trades 1 for 1. But the rest of the team fight, what's it going to look like? Dhokla holds the front line well. CLG pushed away, but that wall itself was probably a free Herald.
Yeah, they don't end up actually going on the Herald. They just turn for the fight. It is a 1-for-1 at the end of the day, and they get them off the Herald, so not too bad for CLG. Taking down River there, losing their own jungler. Contractz was so close to being able to get the reset, and that really would have changed this fight a lot. You know, clearly, Ablazeolive is setting up for the angle. He's not even hitting the wave, so he was always intending to actually go for this flanking play, but the flashes were very quick from CLG, getting over the wall, so they did force a lot of flashes, actually. Almost every one was used in this fight, but the turn is there onto River, not quite able to burst him down. Contractz, that last Q, doesn't actually finish him in time to get that reset. If he gets that reset, you know, the fight could continue.
Yeah, not the case, though. Still, though, many flashes forced away. You can see 3 now missing on CLG's side. Golden Guardians holding on to 4. So summer spells are there for round 2, which is probably this Drake fight. First Drake already went CLG's way. I think Golden Guardians would have value in getting their own, but ignoring that side of the map right now, still playing for second Herald.
Yeah, it looks like they just want to continue to try to snowball their gold advantage. And they may have a similar read that ThinkR did. You know, ThinkR thought that if the game goes late, they're just going to win front to back, right? So it may be that Golden Guardians is feeling a little bit of pressure to continue to snowball the game. Herald is a lot of power right now as far as just that guaranteed gold income. It's going to mean you get a free tower top or bot because those towers are already low. You get the local gold as well, but CLG are building towards that soul win condition here. Going to get their second dragon here of the game. This one completely uncontested, and it is Ocean Soul, which is really, really nice. On a lot of the champions that they do have, Viego and Aatrox are already kind of drain tanky, so I always feel like Ocean Soul is pretty tough to actually deal with on them.
No knock up there. Really quickly on to Contractz. Wants to fight for the red buff. Looks like smite advantage. I mean, it's not a jungle poppy, so of course it's smite advantage.
Still has smite advantage. You were correct.
Exactly, smite advantage. I looked and like River's red thing is up, but like he's not here, so it doesn't matter. And down goes bottom turret here as well. CLG splitting turrets 1-to-1. Herald should charge, and it will work in dealing damage and engage on the bottom side. Poome, flashless, could be attacked, and they will with the Lulu ulti knock him up and kill him. Stixxay getting lower though. The chase is on. Will not find the kill. Contractz will not get his ulti into range. Flash not there to try to get him all the way onto it.
But it's Azir pushing on the bottom side this whole time. So CLG playing the map well. If they get this tier 2 tower, that is worth a lot. I don't think that he's going to be able to finish it off, but at the very least, getting that tower down very, very low here, and will play a little bit cautious, so just going to back it up for now. CLG on the top side, I think they would have loved to continue that fight, but when Zeri gets a lot of ultimate stacks, you pretty much just have to wait it out, right? It's just way too difficult to actually chase down this champion when she has the move speed really, really stacked up. So I wanted to let that expire. Stixxay, though, already on the Hurricane, does have a pickaxe on top, so going to be interested to see if he wants to go more of that bruisery style again, or if it is going to be a rush towards IE, kind of more high DPS style of build.
And there we go. Next item, next build. As we look at the 19-minute mark, third Drake for CLG. They have been unchallenged in Dragon Control so far in this series. Bot lane turret is low, but a 2v1 defense could be here, and Licorice can't go for much more. And says, I think I'm safe enough, just like with this. Next time around, of course, he has Demolish. Those pips go back up, though, but any alone time will knock the turret down, grid the lead to 2,200. Golden Guardian still can look at mid lane a little bit, but not pressing it too heavily. TP is channeled to go top side for Ablazeolive. Control that tower right now.
Yeah, nice to force that TP out. So there is TP advantage now for CLG. They have it on both their solo laners right now. Of course, Ablazeolive does have his ulti to try to answer any of those sort of map movements that they might be looking for, but CLG pretty happy to just be playing towards that bottom side of the map for now. You can see that's where all their vision is, right? They're playing a very bot-centric game. Like, look at all these pink wards and stuff in that area. A little bit of overkill in that one section over by the blue buff, but they have full vision control in that section of the map and are going to be looking to go for this next dragon almost assuredly. Palafox also did give up his tower on bot side, but it meant that there was no local gold given over to Golden Guardians because no one was in the area to actually collect that, so not really much of a benefit from that tower going down.
Stixxay in the same build as last time here. Titanic components in inventory. They don't expect Ravenous, honestly, so he'll go for the same build yet again. Will be harder to dive, but will those dives happen in the first place? It's going to be a question still. 2 minutes till the dragon comes up. There's still time to play for vision, and various sectors around the map. Keep in mind, bot lane and top lane tier 2, both actually relatively low. Golden Guardians have chunked the top side down below about 1/4. CLG have chunked bot lane down to about 30%. Maybe with some alone time, that knocks down, turns to 800 gold.
One thing I will say it's kind of working in the favor of Golden Guardians is even though there is that point and click CC and a fair bit of dive to actually look to attack Stixxay, Luger could be in trouble.
Have enough defense. The question, Seismic Shove is going to be spell shielded, then has to burn the flash because Jarvan could have been on the way. Bit of damage on the tower, but the important thing is flash is down. Taliyah wall could matter that it's missing.
Yeah, that was actually nice from River. Just throws the flag, doesn't go in, but that alone forced a response there from Luger. Got nervous that he wouldn't be able to react potentially to a flag and drag flash or something of that nature, so it does flash out early. But yeah, the Taliyah rocks are going to be difficult, right, for the follow-up. So basically, you can throw the Nautilus ult in, of course, but then Dhokla, Contractz, Nautilus, all these people want to dash in on top of Stixxay. So if you just throw down your E, to be able to actually protect against that happening, it's very difficult to actually follow up and go through the Taliyah back in onto Stixxay.
And we return to a modest lead for Golden Guardians. Edge still in the minds that late game scaling may belong to CLG. The Drake stacks give them that little bit extra power there as well, making the gold lead just slightly lie to you. End of the day, both AD carries are on 2 items right now. A pretty similar power spike. Luger feels safe to play for the mid lane, and indeed does so. We're now 25 seconds away from this third Drake of the game, and it really does feel like both teams will score off for that fight.
Yeah, Palafox going for a very high DPS build this time around, looking for the flat pen. It's going to be Shadow Flame second. Ludens plus Sork Boots plus Comet, so a lot of poke with this build. Actually can be very annoying playing into this Azir style because you don't necessarily need to get a lot of soldier autos out. You really just need to get a Q auto, and you're going to get a lot of poke off on some of these champions that are fairly squishy, like the Taliyah. Contractz threatening on the wrap out here.
They're going to go for the Stixxay. Can he get over the wall? Yes, indeed. That means the fight's going to be a whole lot easier. The dive will not land. An important ulti missing for a 20-second dash cooldown as Stixxay played it well enough. And now with bot lane river control, Golden Guardians say, hey, you've got no engage tools. We have 5 ultis up. We're fine to play for this dragon.
Yeah, I think it's likely going to be theirs. It's going to be really difficult to actually find a way in. Poome going back to base, so looks like CLG will just be playing through mid lane. But Poome does cancel the recall again, so they're not certain what they want to do. Now they're going to be moving out towards top, so they will just give this one up. They look for the attempt on Stixxay, realize without the Nautilus ulti, they have no shot at actually knocking him down. And not only was it that the Nautilus ulti was used, they didn't get any sums, they didn't get the Zeri ult, they didn't get anything off of him. So it was going to be really difficult to make that approach. Golden Guardians now stopping that march towards Soul here, so we'll push it back and are in a pretty good spot.
All you can say is the gold lead has shrunk for now, though. 1,500 it was, about half that now. But mid lane, guess what? That's being attacked. Back 1,500. Back we go to Golden Guardians, getting closer on Drakes. Still feels like I don't think we're gonna see a 39-minute Dragon Soul from them as they stack 4 Oceans. Yeah. So they are keeping CLG from that objective. It feels like. I mean, who knows? Last game was 44 minutes, so
yeah,
maybe we'll see a 39-minute Dragon Soul.
It's possible.
Yeah, certainly is. If we're just gonna get long games the whole time, get a 6-hour series, I'd be okay with that. Sounds like fun.
Got nowhere to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not casting tomorrow. I'll get to rest my voice, collect back up. We'll be fine.
All right, but for now, it is CLG just continuing to scale up. Feels like they're trying to at least wait for Sivir's IE. Shadow Flame is now through. Palafox likely just going for a Void Staff. Next item, I'm assuming, with the blasting one there. But not much MR has been purchased up. Of course, Poppy always has some because all tank mythics have some MR, and is now purchasing an additional null magic mantle. So probably looking to deal with the Poppy in the front line, just knowing that it's going to be mostly his job to actually be able to punch through that. It's interesting to see Contractz, going so heavily towards MR himself with Merc Treads and a Maw, but Zeri does have quite a bit of magic damage. Ablazeolive obviously going to be dealing pretty much exclusively magic damage here.
Shove back from Olleh, we'll get away from Contractz, but a pretty equal trade of blows all considered. Oh, Zap's going to land for 254. Nothing else, though. Contractz has some honey fruit to eat, walks away. River won't get much done. Goes for the scuttle. That's going to be his as well, as top lane is cleared back out. And FTX total gold puts Stixxay well and truly ahead. The strategy has, and kind of seemingly always will be, for Golden Guardians, feed Stixxay. I think his hands are very good. His mind is very good in team fights there as well. If there's anyone you're going to feed gold to, I think he has been by far their most consistently strong player.
Yeah.
But CLG as a team, on average, have performed much, much better here than Golden Guardians, bringing Cloud9 to 5 games. Winning game 1 here, and certainly still in striking distance to game 2 there, as Stixxay wants in toward Luger, but a damage coming across there. A flash out for Palafox as Rivers engage, forces more summoners away from CLG.
They're going to be able to force more flashes, the heal as well, the ulti off Sivir. Really nicely done, just kind of rinse and repeat, looking to attack towards these 2 carries. The Azir and the Sivir have been doing a good job of actually pressuring them. We saw in the FTX total gold that Luger is way down, down with the jungler, down with the Jarvan. So Stixxay very, very far ahead of the pace of the game. Already has his 3rd item completed here, much faster. River now has the GA, so a strong 2-item spike. They look like they're fully ready to fight. They don't really need more time. I don't think Zeri particularly gets a lot stronger with additional items past this point. To me, this is kind of your biggest spike. Whereas very clearly Palafox wants to get towards Void Staff, Death Cap. Luger wants to get towards, his, not only his IE, but his LDR, because there's a lot of armor over on the other side. So they're very far from being ready to go, and Golden Guardians, I think, should continue to scrap and try to really push the pace of this game.
Top laners fight back and forth. Licorice, of course, mana constrained a little bit there. Dodges every sweet spot I've seen. Hook comes in, though, but it's a Guardian Angel Jarvan, so goes right back into him. Good damage into Olleh. Quick polymorph, but here comes Contractz. Huge damage! Olleh nearly dead. Flashed the wall, but still was almost a target there. Contractz walking back out. The River's going to be fun. Nautilus will be down, though. The CLG burn 2 for the honor.
Yeah, it is a trade of teleports. Both top laners TPing into that scrap. Pretty even overall. They do get the flash off Olleh, so I will say that it's slightly in their favor. But again, very scrappy, back and forth. Can't actually find an angle to get on Stixxay, who's been very intelligent about constantly playing your walls. Because even if you have the Nautilus ultimate, if he just buffers his E over the wall, sure, the Nautilus ult is going to hit him eventually, and he is pushed back out of that fight, but you are not going to be able to find that follow-up onto him, and trying to dive through the Taliyah is really, really difficult. It's one of the hardest champions to walk straight at in a team fight, because Taliyah can put out incredible amounts of damage if you're just funneling into her.
Yeah, absolutely. So, will he be scary is the question. Already onto those 3 items. Stopwatch in there as well. So not an easy target here on Olleh, who is still booked up at a cleanse there as well. And we'll get rid of things like Viego stun and a couple other things here.
They're going to start this for sure.
The Baron attempt. Yeah, it's all Fog of War. Now, CLG immediately blue trigger. They're aware of it. But will the fight work out? Nautilus ulti still down.
Yeah, they're still hitting it. They're going to have to peel for sure. Ablazeolive is going to look for the Weaver's wall to actually block them out here. And we'll see if they can find the turn this time.
Vandal, Jarvan dives on in. They're stuck on the one side. Is it enough damage? GA popped. 1 for 0, 2 for 0. Double kill for Zeri. Stixxay surfs in for a bit more. Jungler still alive. Contractz has ult, flash, smite, everything he needs. River smite will come back up. Can CLG now win the 3v5?
It's looking unlikely. I mean, Luger's going down a bot, so it's a 2v5. He's going to try to rush down the dragon. I think they're trying to actually buy time here. They're not going to commit to this steal, but they're saying, you better stay around or we could steal it. And
walking up, though, they got to make sure they get this one correctly. Going to have to ult the wall. There we go. They know it's enough. And as long as Palafox is zoned out and will be, that's going to be Baron claimed. I think still smart by CLG to send Luger to claim the Drake. They will be 3 drags of CLG, but Baron goes over to Golden Guardians.
Yeah, Golden Guardians getting further and further ahead here. 3K now on the lead. This turn was really good, getting both Dhokla and Poome very quickly. It's the exact same setup from that previous fight. Weaver's wall comes in, River goes forward, you have tackle into the wall, everyone flies in, and you try to burst down these frontline members from CLG. But they gotta continue pushing the pace here. They're now having this Baron buff. Let's see how much they can extend this gold advantage, because CLG is 1 away from Ocean Soul, which will make their job in these fights that much more difficult if they let them get there.
Yeah, at the very least, you look at how that fight went. Golden Guardians were pretty much bursting, right? It's separate the team in half, go one-shot half the squad. Okay, Rena's not going to help that exact angle. So if you get exactly that team fight, sure, Soul won't matter. But not every fight is, we got the setup, we 2-shot 2 people, you know? Like, there's a lot of situations where, that regen, you know? Dhokla would have killed Licorice there, you know, and those situations can really add up.
And one of these things that about Zeri in late game is that, especially in pro play, the W poke matters a lot, right? Where you soften someone up, you hit a squishy member once or twice, all of a sudden they can't fight. With Ocean Soul, that becomes a thing of the past, right? You're not really worried about chip damage any longer. It's much safer to stay around these objectives. River threatening here. I don't think that they're going to go for a 5v5 tower dive. It seems way too risky. So they are just having Ablazeolive continue pushing mid. He's not going to look for any sort of an ulti play down towards bot. They will take down that tower mid lane and then wait for the next wave bot and just continue doing this bounce back and forth here, maintaining vision control around this bottom side.
There's a wall angle here, I feel like. You can surf around and cut off this bot lane right now. Ulti back on cooldown while he's in combat, but I think the ability to play hyper aggressive and take these 5v4s under tower where you're like, nope, you're not getting away, your flashes are gone. I think there are, it's a more risk-averse angle. I don't necessarily mind it, but these things are pretty constant, where it's like, hey, at 2,000 range, we can just cut you off and just take this away from you.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're not going to end up going for it, but they will get the top tower. Really good prep on the waves here from Golden Guardians. Going around the map here, knocking down tower after tower. Now 5K in the lead here, 3K Baron power play.
I like that one by Dhokla, but no one's going to be in range for anything else. Quick channel on the ulti. Licorice like, nah, it's fine. That one goes down, and I shove back towards the side, and ulti away from Contractz. Damage was there. And now, top and hip, be careful. Stixxay down below 1,000 health. Good damage out of Palafox. And Golden Guardians will indeed back up off of this one. Quick sidestep from Dhokla, dashes away from the shove. And this Red Bull Baron power play, really solid. 3,100 gold as the wave falls. Going for a little bit more, tackle back to Dhokla, interrupting him, killing him. Stixxay is already legendary. River starts it up again. He's running so low on health, and he does get shuffled down. Palafox shoves him in, but there's nothing else to do. In his eyes are the quadra kill, in his eyes are the pentakill, and Stixxay, you better not steal this, and he takes down all 5.
Stixxay going off. Golden Guardians battling back here in game number 2. They're going to tie this series up off a 12-1-2 Stixxay performance. Back-to-back games on the Zeri. He has been a monster for Golden Guardians.
Well done, Stixxay. Well done, Golden Guardians, bouncing back from game 1. But twice in a row, this bot lane has been the only thing keeping Golden Guardians in this game. This one around, I think a bit more of a team effort for sure. The setups around Baron were really clever. I love the Jarvan Taliyah sort of double terrain engage to set up those fights. That looks really good. and every time he was there for cleanup.
Even top lane. I mean, LCKR solo killed Dhokla in this one with the Poppy.
Yeah.
You know, it does take the Poppy blind. Yes, it was a flex, so maybe Dhokla wasn't certain exactly what he was going to be playing against. But Dhokla had the answering pick here, was 5th pick on red side. Does end up getting solo killed out by the Poppy. The Poppy was worth a lot more in the 5v5 as well.
Yeah.
You know, ThinkGuard, you know, they were talking about how they had the read that they were just going to win front to back. The team fights did not really look like that at all.
They weren't front
right?
to back is the thing, right? It's like, we're going to assassinate 3 people.
Yep.
I mean, it feels like, hey, this is a comp that kind of only works on blue side. We're going to do Herald setups, we're going to do Baron setups, and all's going to sit in mid lane, and that wall's going to make your fight almost impossible. Just time it out to where you're going to cut front line from back line, and you will kill whomever you need to kill.
Yep.
Right? So often the reason front to back works is your front line tanks 800 damage and then walks away getting out, and you can't chase into Sivir. Like, that's going to kill you.
Yep.
It's like, no, your front line flash now and give us the fight, or die, and we just still take Baron. And those setups were really, really good. So we never had the like default front to back. We had the your front dies and your back is zoned out. And that was really cool. Like I thought it was a really great draft. Have always been a fan of an arrow drafts. I don't know who came up with it, but you know, he's the head coach there. But the Taliyah Jarvan combo, I mean, we don't see that much, right? And it looks great.
And I think there's no shot Stixxay gets Zeri for the rest of the series.
I would hope not.
He has been way too good. Even in the loss, he was way too good on that champ.
Yeah, he's been looking outstanding as well. So let's head over to State Farm Analyst Desk, talk about that game.
Thank you
Agreed.
so much, gents. Okay. Raz already beat me to it. I was going to start where Azael left off, which is 2 games in a row now. The Zeri falls in the first Zeri pentakill in globally, I think. Yeah, first one ever. So grats on that. No, we were even talking, Emily, after game 1, that probably the Zeri shouldn't be allowed through again. They do let it through one more time, and it grabs Golden Guardians a victory to even it up.
So we see the Sivir-Zeri trade. Possibly the more important thing is the Lulu, which we saw once Yuumi was removed, Poome focusing on in their previous series. I think another thing that happened here that casters already pointed out was that the response from Golden Guardians is really interesting. And we've been talking about, like, okay, how do they win this series when we do think it's so heavily CLG favored? We'd seen them come up with some creative draft options previously. We know that J4 is, you know, one of River's most played, like, best champions that we've seen him play here in LCS. So the flexing they did here and the J4 Taliyah combo is really interesting.
The thing that I didn't like about this CLG draft, and I mentioned it to Emily as it happened, was we've seen Zeri Sivir trades all over the place. It's all CLG did in the C9 series, and oftentimes they were actually getting the Zeri out of it, and it's fine. But the team with the best enchanter, which when you're trading Lulu and Yuumi is banned, Lulu is the untradeable pick.
Right.
So when you're picking on 1-2 there where they picked Sivir Azir, drop the Sivir, just do Lulu Azir, and you can do the Zeri Sivir trade anyway.
You don't care which side you get then.
Yeah. And then you're the one with the hyper carry that can get the pentakill at the end. That's what I really didn't like about the draft. The rest of it, I understand why they'd counter with Nautilus because they want to play aggressive, they want to go in.
Yeah.
But that would be the biggest thing I would change about this draft.
Yeah, it was definitely funny in the Cloud9 series that it ended up evolving into a Lulu first pick. That one.
Yeah.
And they do not remember that.
Yeah, and I know the graphic went down, but one thing to make note of is the Trundle ban. We said going into that game that Trundle was going to be an issue with how Golden Guardians were drafting, and so they just took it out of the equation, and now they actually had the ability to flex the Poppy and then have the J4 in the end. So they had exactly what they wanted and then some.
And once again, we did see that CLG got off to a good start, right? They had that red buff invade, Contractz ended up going red, both birds, bot scuttle, and then that gank bot that we just saw. And it was that Herald fight where Zeri came away with a triple kill where the game really started to turn around.
Yeah, unfortunately in this play, Luger not using his heal, which we did confirm was available to him in that. Not sure would have necessarily saved his life.
Yeah,
maybe extends it and changes ultimately though the trade and forces Stixxay to stay in it. But it was a very scrappy game ultimately, Raz, until Golden Guardians finds their openings.
Yeah, and so now kind of zooming into that fight, just kind of setting it up a little bit. A lot of the times that Nautilus pick is something that has been discussed a little bit.
Yep.
So Nautilus, we saw Nautilus into Yuumi, into Lulu. In this case, Nautilus, this is the purpose of it, to engage the fight. In this case, Jat mentioned it while the game was happening. Yes, the Lulu was level 5, and so if this was going to be the angle, you have to go for it. The team wasn't there.
Yep.
you're engaging and you still have 2 people catching up, and Contractz was nowhere to be seen. And so she just gets out of the situation altogether, and they have a numbers advantage and they have a better fight. And so like that gold advantage that you saw for CLG dissipated.
Yep.
Yeah, and one of the purposes of picking Nautilus as well is to press R on the Zeri.
Yep.
Zeri was there and free hitting the whole time. When that fight happens, I don't think there is a champion in the game who, when they get 2 to 3 kills at Rift Herald, you feel like the game is over more than Zeri.
Yep. Coming out of that fight, it was a 4-1-1 Zeri,
Yeah.
as you mentioned, plus a Rift Herald going over to Golden Guardians, and every single one of us turned to each other and said, that's the game.
Yeah.
That's the game. And the onus, of course, was still on Golden Guardians to close it out. But that's where I returned back to Azael's kind of point about how we maybe expect Stixxay to not get this champ again, because look at that, 12-1-2, 38.5% of the damage share for the team. This guy was popping off. He seems very comfortable on this champion, Raz.
100%. He has been amazing. Much like Phreak said, in game 1, in a losing situation, he was still playing well. So Stixxay is still going to play incredible regardless of the circumstances. And so you kind of have to put him in an uncomfortable position. That being said, we're looking at this play, and I know a lot of the conversation is going to be surrounding Stixxay. Golden Guardians still played really well with the lead, and I think that's going to be something you have to take that will carry over into the rest of the games. They were playing around Baron incredibly well. They peeled off perfectly with J4 ulti, so once again, River's J4 went through. And so that's the risk you're taking when you're going and changing up the bands a little bit, and he played exceptional around it. So I think, while great job at being able to nail the Zeri ban in the next game, you still have to take the Jarvan play into consideration and the willingness of Licorice to flex Poppy top lane.
Yeah, River and Jarvan is where he's found
Synonymous.
almost all of his success this year.
The bread and butter.
So I think zooming out a little bit, for the people that were watching the LEC final, we previewed the predictions for this series. A lot of us said CLG 3-0, but we also afterwards saw that CLG hadn't won a best of 5 in 1,098 days.
That's true.
And then also, when you look at the year as a whole, the best version of Golden Guardians make this a very competitive series. And what we remember is that 8-game losing streak into only beating Dignitas Golden Guardians at the end of the year, but this hasn't looked like that team to me so far. This looks much more like maybe early spring split or the start of Summer Split Golden Guardians. So it's a much more formidable foe for CLG to take down, and they really got to kick it into gear if they want to take this series.
Another thing I do find a little bit interesting is how they've decided that, you know, obviously partially due to the meta because Sivir, Zeri trading, but Stixxay is their guy, right? Like, we are going to create situations where he is going to carry us. And it's really interesting to see that bot focus kind of carry over onto this team, because we know that River knows how to play around bot lane specifically, which is, it's just kind of an interesting, it's not a one-to-one because it's not the same pushing like 2v2 lanes, but it's just kind of an interesting connector.
All right, Raz, CLG, not missing a beat here. Back over to blue side.
Oh, you want to change your prediction? Because a different team won a game.
Oh, you know what?
We still have the flip-flops over there.
I'm a little traumatized from yesterday's flip-flopping. Almost nailed Dash in the head with a flip-flop, too, actually.
Did?
Almost did. And you know what?
You still have confidence in CLG?
I still have confidence.
Okay, fair enough. Tell me then how they strike back here on blue side. Jet talked about how with the winning, percentages of blue side in the postseason so far. How do they approach Champion Select to deal with some of the priority that we've seen through the first 2 games?
First thing in the draft, they've faced it here and they faced it in the previous series. Probably just first picking Lulu or taking the enchanters out of the situation entirely.
Yeah.
And then also just recognizing that you're not losing these games because of the draft. It's because of the play ultimately. You had a great lead and then you tossed it, right? So when you're in team fights, the strength that they've had all split long, be aware that your team is there or not and can follow up in your play. It's a basic, but it seems like it fell through and it gave Golden Guardians the early game.
It was an intelligent draft from Golden Guardians in that second game to get the flex and get the Jarvan into River's hands. But is that a repeatable strategy, Jat? Like, I almost feel like that's you surprise them once to get the win, and they got to have more tricks up their sleeve.
I mean, I think they can definitely keep picking Jarvan.
It is an option that is available to them,
I
unless
think
it's
that
banned. You
part
are
is
right.
Repeatable. Whether or not the rest of the team comp makes sense around it is less repeatable.
I accept that it was a stupid question. Now, against all odds, Golden Guardians have tied up the series. Can CLG retake the lead? We'll be right back with game number 3.
Make no more stupid questions.
Sorry. Everyone gets one, right?
Yeah. Look at it. Yeah. Aatrox, he's hitting. Grounded. Yeah. Fight. Go for it. On us. Close the target.
Azir, no flash Azir. Sivir. Azir.
Yeah, I got it.
No flash Azir.
Let me get penta, please. My first
Oh
penta.
my god.
Penta kill!
What you playing?
A very serious game, but these in-game purchases are adding up.
Oh, State Farm has rates to fit your budget.
Mega Sparkle!
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.